Welcome to Pioneer, the podcast series for serious innovators, brought to you by Wrays. Here we talk to innovative entrepreneurs, CEOs, scientists and policymakers about innovation.
Hello, my name is Rob Pearce and I'm CEO of Wrays. Today I tried something a little different for the podcast. Today I was in Melbourne and I spoke with a lady called Suzanne Newman. If any of you have been interacting on LinkedIn over the past couple of months, you would most likely know Suzanne as String. For the last 2 years, String has been pioneering videos on social media. She was a top 20 Meerkat Power user. She produced the award-winning Snapchat channel Women in Tech and has conducted 200 plus Facebook Live interviews with entrepreneurs and startup founders such as Gary Vee, Holly Liu from Kibam, and Hugh Forrest. Now, though, it's all about LinkedIn videos. And as an early adopter, String created one of the first viral videos with over 100,000 views. And I think more recently, 300,000 views. String's aim is to create the first LinkedIn video channel. She's recently arrived back in her hometown, Melbourne, presenting as keynote speaker for VideoCon Australia, along with organising LinkedIn workshops in Melbourne, Sydney and Singapore, and she's probably by now on the plane to Brisbane to conduct one tomorrow. I didn't think that when we started this series I would end up talking in such a relaxed, informal environment, and I certainly didn't think I would end up talking about fried chicken, but I really hope you enjoy this. String is a unique character. She's very engaging, very happy, and I had lots and lots of fun. I hope you do too, and I hope you enjoy. Well, look, I hope you don't mind. I've started recording.
All right.
What I'd normally do is go through this blurb about, don't worry, we'll record in chunks, and then if there's anything you say you don't like, we'll go over and erase it.
Yeah.
But I watched one of your video blogs this morning and you were saying, oh look, this is all natural and no, I made a mistake there, and one of the things I've been doing is I say wow is my standard answer, and I've been trying to stop saying wow, but it's like, well, it's natural.
What's the point?
So, but off these questions, you've really got me thinking. So one of the things my bugbears, and I'm going to ask you about this because you've got a bit of a criticism about, you quoted this guy called Kieran, please sit down.
Okay.
Kieran George, and he'd said, there are real people on this site now, not business suits and ties only.
Look, you're totally hearing the corporate say stuff like, business suits and ties. Well, no tie.
I know, but my point is that on my picture on the website, I've got a tie on because I want to present this really stuffy legal vision to people.
Yes.
And you're kind of criticising that? Where are you coming at?
Because lately what I realised is I remember someone trying to hire me to do LinkedIn training, and then she's like, no, we're very corporate. We don't, we're dealing with CMOs and CEOs and executive levels, and it's like, that's probably why you want to talk to me, because you guys have problems. You can't even hire millennials anymore because you don't know how to cater to their needs a little bit. I just happen to go on the other side a little bit, but I love talking about business, and most CEOs that I talk to and CMOs, they love talking about business and how to tackle strategies and KPIs and conversions. I realized that the last couple of years is that if you have traffic but you don't have traffic going somewhere, it's candidate traffic or vanity metrics, right? And at the end of the day, you want to have conversions, lead gens, or acquisitions at the end of the day, or some kind of a worthy ROI. And it took me 3 years to get that language in place and understand how it works in terms of if you do drive traffic, these are the ways of driving traffic.
And these are the benefits and the actual return you get on it.
Yes. And it's only when I started talking about ROIs that I started getting clients.
Oh, thanks, Letitia.
Thank you.
I just got mineral water.
That's fine. I like sparkles.
Good on you. Thank you.
No.
So I think we just go straight into the questions, if that's okay.
Go
As
ahead.
I said, normally we'd send this off to an editor, but I'm kind of tempted to perhaps not edit so much on this one because that's kind of with your vibe and how you like to do things.
Go ahead. I'm happy to do that. I'm so used to having questions that it almost becomes, the one takes almost becomes genuine and authentic. And I realise that people seem to really vibe with authenticity, especially with fake news coming along the way.
Yeah, look, it's so interesting because you're obviously all about LinkedIn at the moment, and that's great. So my own transition through social media was Facebook, of course, and I got fed up with Facebook and I've come off there. And then I sort of delved into Instagram a bit and realised that no, that's just about posting all the positive stuff and it's not real. So I've come off there. Then I had my own Twitter feed, my own Twitter account, and I thought, I don't really want to mix work and pleasure, so I set up a work Twitter feed. But then that got me really worried that it was coming across as disingenuous, and that goes back to this shirt and tie thing. So
I kind of get out why you're doing it, because you're presenting, lawyers have always been presented in a particular way, and you have corporate clients. And if you act too much of a black sheep within the space,
it's going to polarize. Yeah.
And you don't want to do that. I'm allowed to be an outlier in this space because I find that I do better when I have a fresh perspective or a different point of view. And because of the amount of travels and conversations I have been having, I feel like I'm a walking SWAT for a lot of people now. And I'm very good at communications. And just before, what I realized is that I have clients who also deal with IP, and I realized when it comes to trademark or copyright and everything like that, you have to be at a certain level for you to start having those kind of conversations in the first place.
Oh yeah, you need a real understanding of what that IP is, and yours is the most important of all. It's actually your intrinsic IP.
Which is the trademark, brand-wise. If I want to move into a global climate, because that's where I'm leading to, I realise Australia is a tiny small market. 26 million versus 3.5 billion people worldwide who has access to the internet. And just to give you some context, 2 billion people live on Facebook right now, and not half the world doesn't have access to the internet. Imagine having access or building up the infrastructure for that world to bring
how many users would actually be on social media.
And I'd rather work with clients who happen to have a yes mentality than it's like, no, we can't do that. And I realise that Australia is quite conservative in the way they're thinking, and it's because we're complacent as well.
We've always done it that way.
No, because they just don't want to move their fat ass and do something interesting.
You're very infectious. Look, we've got these questions to get through. As you've suggested, let's move question 6 to number 1 because it is one of the more interesting ones. Please tell me what on earth String's fried chicken party concept is. Do you
know what's interesting is, like, I just had a client before and I closed my deal.
Well done.
Thank you.
Did you ring the bell?
No, I didn't. Listen, they know my branding so well. They had ready for me a fried chicken meal.
No way.
And it's been happening quite on a regular basis where I rock up and I find fried chicken on the table for me.
That's cool.
So now I'm expecting, if I visit you next time, I'm probably expecting some kind of fried chicken meal.
Absolutely, yeah. So what's the fried chicken addiction? What?
It happened over a couple of years ago where I started playing games with fried chicken games and emojis on Snapchat to the point where people started associating with me with fried chicken. And I realized, I started, because I'm in the marketing game, and part of branding is visibility and association. So I decided to always put fried chicken along the way, and to the point where my friends, if you look at my Facebook feed, they tag me into every fried chicken post ever. It's literally, Facebook itself is just like an RIS feed for me for fried chicken now.
Okay, and where's the best fried chicken in Melbourne?
Sam's.
Okay.
Melbourne itself has a lot of great Korean fried chicken now. That's where I realised that every culture has their own fried chicken story.
Oh my word.
Because I travel so much, so I started playing Vietnamese have their own version of fried chicken, Koreans have their own fried chicken, even America has their own, if you go to different states, they have their own version of fried chicken.
So the concept is to get people together and talking and in an informal way.
And what I realised is it was a joke, but it came to the point where it is become a thing, where every place that I visit, and to be efficient way of doing things, I just organise fried chicken parties for me and my friends. They just happen to be very awesome and very entrepreneurial or in the startup world, to the point where they just want, if they want to hang out with me, and it's okay, let's just have fried chicken every time I visit a city. And now it's become like this lead up to this thing where I was like, okay, on my birthday, I'm going to go have a fried chicken party from now on.
That's so cool.
And I'm using it for social good as well. So, like, to the point where I got Redbubble on board. I even got you guys on board.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm going to make it into every year I go use my visibility and this laughter, get people together and use it for food for social now.
Brilliant. Do you know, you obviously know the thank you story and Daniel Flynn?
No, please tell me about it.
Really? So Daniel Flynn is a young guy from Melbourne who watched a YouTube video about the poor quality of drinking water in the developing world, and that children were essentially dying because they had either no access to water or access to dirty, polluted water. And it moved him so much that he decided to set up his own bottled water company and would donate the profits to producing clean drinking water in the developing countries. His story's fantastic, you really should read it. But his now wife, but they were girlfriend at the time, and his best friend set up this company with, I think, $1,000. They now contribute, I think, something like $6 million of their profit to these clean water benefits. They've got drinking water, they've got bathroom products with shower gel and soap, etc., etc.
It grew out from one thing, and they use that profit and visibility for something. So I didn't realize like thank you had that association. I thought that was just a clever way of saying thank you. Water is life.
Yeah, no, it's you should look him up, and he speaks, and he's a great guy at some of these these corporate events. He's like yourself. He's not the typical corporate person. He's out there, but people really relate to him.
The fried chicken is a relatable food thing, except for vegans and vegetarians hate me.
Well, you can't please everyone, I suppose.
Which is like a marketing thing. You can't please everyone. But I find it interesting that the vegetarians get upset that they're not part of the conversation. They always seem to roll up into my conversation or streams. Like,
you can get that the kind of vegetarian.
Yeah,
meat,
I call it fake breast.
Oh God. Look, I'm also intrigued. Tell me about string. Where does string come from? Because your name is Suzanne, isn't it?
Yes, my real name is Suzanne Nguyen, but for the purpose of LinkedIn to stand out more, I changed to String Nguyen. And it's always fun to see conservative old white guys get upset with me when I tell them that having a marketing degree is irrelevant now. So it's like, String, I don't agree with you. It seems so funny when I read the comments out loud that disagree with me. I should probably do that as a video. It's like, so this old dude said something and like, String.
Call them out live. Yeah, I like it.
Well, just the word string itself is it's so perky and happy that anything that they say sounds like it's almost defeating the purpose of telling me off about the relevance of degrees. And I say I love my degree because I have a degree in interior design, and it made me realise...
When you said interior design, you had a quick look around this room then?
Yeah.
Let's not comment on the picture on the wall, okay?
That's the only pretty thing you have here, and the view.
The view's great. You can see the G, as everyone calls it in Melbourne?
Yes. Well, it gave me the creativity framework to deliver things, and I became a very good communicator. What I realised is that I didn't fit the corporate life of 9 to 5. But every time I wake up, I feel really upset because I didn't feel like I was having some kind of impact. And I guess I probably fit the millennial mindset in that regards. And now I'm only having projects or clients that align with my vision and my values now, because there's no point.
And that's because you're able to cherry pick because you've built your own brand and you're comfortable enough to take on only the projects that you want to be involved with.
Well, if you want to be clear, my vision is to bring the future back to today, because I'm a curious geek of the future, and I value innovation, I value diversity, I value my family, and I value creativity. And so I only pick projects that actually align with that because I like win-win, triple win situations. Triple win?
So, okay, I've heard of win-win. What's the win-win-win?
We both grow, and the win is the exponential growth.
Okay.
Because I find that when I do particular projects, I create new standards. So what happens is that if you and I partner up together, it's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
But we're creating such a new standard, what happens is that we help people underneath and realise, well, these are potential ways of doing things as well.
So exactly like me, looking at some of your LinkedIn posts in preparation for this morning and thinking, right, I best post something about meeting string this afternoon?
Yes.
Okay. You mentioned innovation as well.
Yes.
Now, that is absolutely a buzzword at the moment. And innovation means different things to different people. Well, what does it mean to you?
Well, what I realize is that there's STEM and there's STEAM. So the A stands for arts, but it's actually another word for creativity for me. So it's like, how do you allow creativity in a tech world that's very male-dominated, very, I guess, particular way? Like, I feel like it's like Atlantis, right? Is it Atlantis? Is it that we're treating technology like it's God?
Right.
And if we treat that as we're losing our humanity because we're treating technology as the forefront of innovation. So what I'm hoping to do is adding an element of creativity, fun, and humanness to all this conversation that's happening.
That's so exciting, because I was at the AFR Innovation Summit a couple of weeks ago, and every panel pushed STEM, and nobody mentioned the human element. And my son, for example, is pretty strong in his maths, but is also very creative. And for him at the moment to be trying to figure out where he's going to go in life and what he's going to do, he really wants to maintain that creative element. Yet all of the schooling and the people on these panels are saying, "Oh, it's STEM, STEM, STEM."
Of course, it's a buzzword. I know that innovation is always going to continue the buzzword, but that's my little take on it. It's like we need to add a humanist creativity, because robots can't duplicate creativity. It's only humans that allow us creativity in the conversation. Automation is going to happen. It allows us to free us to be better thinkers or philosophers of life. If anything, I feel like we should teach our kids to be critical thinkers, question the why, be more curious, because those are the tools that allow those kids to be better prepared for the future.
Yes. Okay. Your tag on LinkedIn says you've achieved this 300k video views in 30 days.
It's post views, but then it's became true. I believe in synchronicity, manifestation, and one of my videos did reach up to 300 views.
Okay.
Which actually kind of, because it's a very B2B platform, right? But I realized that people actually want to hear more vulnerable human self-development stories, which goes more the philosophy kind of thinking about what it means to be a human in this conversation now.
How long have you been involved with LinkedIn?
Probably 8 weeks.
What?
I get 19,000 profile visits.
So 8 weeks?
Yes.
My word.
I literally hate LinkedIn.
That deserved a wow.
Yes,
I should have said the wow.
He said what? He's like, what? He broke the our protocol. I hate LinkedIn because the UX is terrible, but I recognize the value in it, because literally I started posting content on there, became a channel, to the point I have 19,000 profile visits, and it's growing exponentially.
So I had a quick look this morning, as I mentioned. The guy, Gary V, seems to be a bit of a hero of yours.
I have total respect for him because I'm duplicating his model.
Okay, duplicating his model. That's a careful choice of words. So you're aiming to post something every day?
I already post every day.
No, and continue to do that?
Yes, because you're becoming a channel. Whether it be me posting a video or posting a post, I have to maintain that channel now.
But the video is the important thing for you.
People come to me for videos. They want to see how I use video, or they want to know what I'm doing next on that video space, because people will probably... I feel like everyone's building up their confidence to find a way to use video as part of their marketing as well.
Now, let's go back a step. You said you hate LinkedIn?
Yeah, it's terrible UX. Bad user experience.
Yeah, that's a real... you've gone to 19,000 followers, views
So,
in 8 weeks.
I have every week, I kind of share my latest ROI, or every 2 weeks now, where I tell people, the amount of numbers that come from my way, because people get impressed by numbers.
Well, they guess it adds a bit of credibility, I suppose.
Well, it does, right? Very few people get 19,000 profile visits. 19,000 professionals visit and check out what I'm doing. I get about 450,000 views last month, just for post. And I went from, when I first started, like active on LinkedIn, it went from 900 followers to 4,100. So I had I guess I have an exponential growth and understanding how LinkedIn works right now.
So you've said it's the new Facebook.
Totally.
What's your actual thinking behind that statement, though? Because Facebook is weekend, it's after work, it's not the real me. Or it is the real me, and LinkedIn is not the real me, perhaps.
Well, I actually think people, professionals specifically, they can't hang out on Facebook, but they hang out on LinkedIn.
So I can't hang out with you on Facebook if I was on Facebook. No,
professionals only, it's frowned upon if they look at social, but it's okay, thumbs up if you...
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up if you hang out on LinkedIn, because it looks like you're working on LinkedIn. It's professional. That's why I said Facebook is like the new B2B platform. And plus, people message on LinkedIn chatting to other people about stuff, about business or about what they're doing. So people are generally using LinkedIn as if it's the new Facebook right now.
So you obviously connect with like-minded people. We mentioned the Gary V. They obviously help you in your outlook and what you're doing. How do you help young entrepreneurs with what you're doing?
I actually think I have better conversations with other geeks. So my job is to translate what's happening in the world to the layperson.
But you don't do that through LinkedIn, you do that outside of LinkedIn.
You mean, can you paraphrase the question? Because I find that I actually have a better conversation with people who are at a particular stage in their life. I find that I get a little bit ruthless with my time. So the question is, do I want to help the littlest man or the person who's up and coming?
Okay.
And I only say that because I hate it when people pick my brain. You probably hate it when people pick your brain. It's not valuable for our time.
So you're backing the winner?
Of course.
Yeah, okay, I like it. That's quite an honest thing to say.
And I do. I tell them, it's like people all the time are getting bombarded on Facebook now, bombarded on LinkedIn now, bombarded on my email now, and I have to make a quick decision of who I want to commit to.
That's refreshingly honest, I have to say. Okay, Snapchat. I have to confess to not understanding Snapchat, but my kids love Snapchat, and that makes me feel really old. But anyway,
that's Snapchat's marketing tactic.
Women in Tech is your Snapchat channel?
No, I stopped producing for them, but I still help. I was just going back. I was a producer for Women in Tech Snapchat channel, which won a Shorties Award this year.
Yep.
In the beginning of the year, and I'm thankful for that because Snapchat itself was an awesome platform, terrible B2B platform, but a great B2C consumer platform, and that's how LinkedIn found me. One of the people following me on Snapchat invited me to be a beta tester for video on LinkedIn, and that's how I was able to jump from Snapchat to LinkedIn.
Ah, I see.
So I'm a video innovator.
So that's primarily what you loved about Snapchat then, is that it was video.
Very video-centric, very mobile-centric. And they're still killing it in terms of innovation within the video space.
How so?
If you look at the way they do publications,
yeah,
they probably create bite-sized content that suits the mobile experience.
Aren't Instagram trying to do that at the moment with the video element?
But they always duplicate Snapchat.
So, other than LinkedIn, what's the most exciting thing you're working on at the moment?
Okay, I'm going to set up a LinkedIn TV show. It's like a semi-podcast.
Okay. To talk to who?
Okay, may as well do it now. Okay, let it manifest that I got this deal. I'm doing a HR show with a particular startup that wants to leverage off LinkedIn, which I told them is the best platform for them because it's like a place where people do recruitment anyway. Being on where the people are or the audience is a great way to build up visibility and lead gen for them as well.
So you've been on LinkedIn 8 weeks.
Yes.
I can't believe that.
And I'm already creating a LinkedIn marketing agency around it already.
Stunning. How long do you think you're going to be on LinkedIn?
Well, because my goal now is to be the first YouTube-like channel there where people would probably pay me to do a video on there and put it onto that channel. That's why I need to license my name out because I think I have a feeling that I might be creating a training course or even doing a I don't know, an open book club, whatever. I don't know yet. But I had to license my name out, so then it becomes like a really household visibility name that people want to be associated with.
So this has happened in 8 weeks. How long were you on Snapchat for?
Well, a video started for me 3 years ago.
Okay.
I'm just duplicating what I've learned over the last 3 years. People think I'm an overnight success if they call 3 years overnight.
There's no such thing, is there? Yeah, so people don't see the hard work that's gone in prior to this 8 weeks. Well, String, I've loved talking to you this afternoon.
I got you to giggle, which is really important.
No, and you're an incredibly engaging and happy person, and it rubs off. But thanks so much. I have really genuinely enjoyed that, and I hope that our listeners will when we publish it.
Yeah, that's why I told you to talk about fried chicken, because they don't expect to talk about fried chicken.
Not on a lawyer's podcast. No, absolutely not. Well, thanks so much. Thank you. Lovely talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
Sorry, and in the true sense of this being in String's vein, I've forgotten to ask a question that I wanted to ask, so we're just going to add this one on. You've spoken about push v pull, and that's something, again, that this Gary V talks about.
Does he?
I think so, yeah, unless I'm muddling the two up. But talk to me about push v pull.
In the marketing world, what I realise is like push versus pull is another word saying inbound versus outbound.
Yeah.
Inbound is like the amount of people that come to you that actually pull is what I will call is like you pull the people that value your thinking, your mindset, and those are the people who are part of your tribe. Push is where you become super salesy. And I realise I'm a better puller than a better pusher, because every time I try to push a sale on, they get upset with me. So I was like, okay, that's unauthentic. So I decided to only talk to the people who actually understands my value sets and my skill sets. So if anything, it's better for me to create inbound traffic than outbound traffic.
Yeah, so by creating the content you're not doing it necessarily to close a particular sale or generate a particular element of business. You're just talking to people and putting out your thoughts, essentially.
It has to be value-based, because what I realised with LinkedIn, it's all about education and providing value or different insights about different things. And because I have such a different way of seeing things, that itself becomes valuable.
Yeah, I can certainly appreciate how it's much more important to have the pulls than the pushes.
Well, I've been also testing out things, and every time I close a sale, or like I do a hard sell, they literally unfollow me and said I'm disingenuous.
Wow.
So I realised, okay, it seems like it validated what I needed to do, which is great, right? Then I started just being authentic and just me. So I stopped doing hard sales, but I had to learn how to find that balance anyway, because I realised that just being me and say, hey, I'm doing this, and I'm very outcome driven, closes the deal better anyway.
How much time do you spend on LinkedIn in a normal day?
Probably 2 hours.
2 hours, that's it?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought you were going to say you spent, half your life on there.
Well, 8 weeks over 2 hours is a lot when you accumulate it.
I guess so, but you've had a huge impact in that time.
Yeah, that's probably why I should focus on it. But I have better conversations. If I meet that person, I kind of know if they're generally part of my tribe or not really quickly now.
Well, they turn up with fried chicken is probably the first thing. So I do apologise, but maybe next time you can have some fried chicken off me.
I look forward to those fried chickens.
Right, thank you again. We'll try and end it there.
Thanks for joining us today for the Wrays Innovators series. If you'd like to know more about today's topic, please email us, wrays@wrays.com.au.